Hello, I'm Teacher Ivan from Wunna Educational Services. I welcome you to our second lesson where we are still looking at solving quadratic equations. In our first lesson, we saw how we solve quadratic equations using the factorization method. Now, in today's lesson, we shall be looking at how we solve quadratic equations using completing squares. This method of completing squares is the most applied if at all factorization is not possible. Remember, factorization has its own condition that we saw in the first lesson. So that means that not each and every quadratic equation can be solved by factorization method, because for an equation to be solved by factorization method, there is a condition that it should satisfy. Otherwise, the completing square method has no conditions. So it's the best to use when solving quadratic equations. Now, we are considering the general equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equaling to 0. And below are the steps that we can use when solving such an equation using completing square. Step 1 is that we are taking this constant c the other side. So we take the constant c on the other side of the equation and end up with ax squared plus bx equaling to negative c. Step 2, we divide throughout by the coefficient of x squared, which is a. We want to remain with the x squared alone or independent term. So after taking this side, we divide through by a and end up with x squared plus b over ax equaling to negative c over a. That is our second step. In the third step is the most crucial step and quite a bit confusing, but we shall go slowly until we master it. So after dividing through by a and remaining with independent x squared, then we are going to now concentrate on the coefficient of x, which is b over a. So we get a half of b over a, square it, and add on both sides of the equation. A half of this gives us b over 2a. We square it and add on both sides. That's how we shall do it. This is x squared plus b over ax plus a half of this, but squared, added on both sides. That is our third step. We come to step 4. In step 4, we are now going to factorize the left-hand side and simplify the right-hand side. What do we mean by this? On our left-hand side, we are factorizing this quadratic expression, whereby when you factorize this, you end up with x plus b over 2a into bracket squared. Some of us may not know how we factorize this. If you don't know how to factorize this, the trick is simple. We are considering the squares, the x squared and the b over 2a squared. We bring x, take this sign, Then we bring this in a common bracket and give them a common square. Come again. We are taking x plus this one. But why plus? We are not considering this plus. We are considering this. If this was a minus, then this could be a minus. If at all you cannot factorize this to come up with this, then the trick is we consider the squares. Consider the first sign. Bring them to a common bracket. That is x plus b over 2a in bracket squared. If this was a minus, then this could be minus. Then when we simplify this side, we end up with this. This is b squared for a squared. We square the numerator and denominator, and after add the two fractions, we end up with this. That is our step 4. We come to step 5. In step 5, we are finding the square root on both sides, the square root of this and the square root of that. So this one cancels with the square, and we end up with x plus b over 2a. Then the square root of this is either plus or minus. So we make x the subject by taking this one, the other side, which gives us the end result as this. So you realize that from completing the squares, we obtain what we call the quadratic formula, or what you know as the bulldozer method. So that is how we use completing of squares. Now we are going to do one example and the rest will be yours. This is the example we are doing. We are told to solve the equations using completing square method, and our first example is 7x equaling to 2x squared plus 6. So the first step, we must first of all arrange this in a form of a x squared plus bx plus c equaling to 0. And that gives us, so meaning we are taking this the other side, which gives us 0 equaling to 2x squared minus 7x plus 6. Similarly, that is the same as 2x squared minus 7x plus 6 equaling to 0. After that, we now go to our 5 steps we've seen. We take this the other side to give us 2x squared minus 7x equals to negative 6. After that, we divide through by 2 by 2 by 2, which leaves us with x squared minus 7 over 2x equaling to negative 3. After that, we are going to step 3, the most important. We are getting a half of this fraction squared and added on both sides. That is x squared minus 7 over 2x plus a half of 7 over 2, the whole of it squared. We do the same on this side, negative 3 plus a half of 7 over 2 but squared. That's how we go about it. Then we simplify, that gives it, we multiply this and this to give us 7 plus 7 over 14 squared equaling to 3 negative plus 7, oh not 14, sorry, it is a 4, 7 over 4 squared. So after that, we now factorize this part and simplify the other side. But the trick was, if you don't know how to factorize this, or factorizing could be time consuming because it is a longer step, the shortcut is we are now considering the squares. We bring them into a common bracket, but considering the first sign. That brings us to x minus 7/4, because we are considering the first sign squared. When you expand this, you go back to that. This equals to -3 plus, this is 49/16. So that gives us x minus 7/4 squared equaling to, this is, we make this a fraction, the LCM is 16. 16 and this is -48 plus 49. So that gives us x minus 7/4 squared equaling to 1/16. And then we get the square root on both sides, which gives us x minus 7/4 equaling to positive or negative 1/4. And therefore we just take this, the other side, to get x, which gives us x as positive plus 7/4, or -1/4 plus 7/4, which gets us x as, when the denominators are the same, we add the numerators. That gives us 8/4, or that will give us 6/4, which gets us x as either 2, or when we simplify by 2, we get that. So that is how we shall use the completing square method in solving a quadratic equation. Otherwise, I'm leaving you with some trial numbers. You try using completing square method solving this. We shall have 4x squared plus 7x plus 3 equaling to 0. Then we can also have x squared plus 5x equaling to -6. So you try those two using completing square. And you can also use factorization method to see if you get the same answers in both methods. Otherwise, that has been our lesson. Please don't forget to subscribe. The only thing you can do for me is subscribing and sharing. So hit the bell such that whenever we have a lesson, you get notified and you don't miss out. Otherwise, we also have other platforms on Facebook and TikTok. Search for Wuuna e-learning platform, Wuuna Kids platform, Wuuna Math channel, Teacher Ivan's online class, and Wuuna educational services on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Please join our Facebook groups, like and follow our Facebook pages, follow our Twitter and TikTok accounts, and also subscribe to our YouTube channels so that we learn together in this digital world conveniently from anywhere at any time. Otherwise, I'm Teacher Ivan from Wuuna Educational Services. I hope to see you very soon. Bye-bye.